Good morning, everybody. Woo-hoo-hoo. Am I excited about today? Venturing into the Sabrina Basin. I absolutely love this place. A basin high in the Sierra, full of lakes and stunning, stunning mountain scenery. So I'm really looking forward to this trek. Plan is to backpack somewhere up here, camp out overnight, and explore these lakes. So really looking forward to this, and can't wait to get back here. Let's go. Sabrina Basin Trailhead. It's a basin full of lakes. I'm gonna go up to, try to get up to Midnight Lake, Hungrey Packer Lake, and the Moonlight Lake. That would be amazing. Time to get some water. So I look like I've been hiking because I've just been hiking. So excuse my wardrobe. Just hiked along the Pacific Crest Trail up in the Wrightwood area, as today is my birthday. So we went out on a nice little day trip up to Wrightwood for my birthday, and that's why I look as I do. All right, so let's get into the details of this hike. This hike starts at the end of Highway 168, right near the outlet of Lake Sabrina at a little over 9,000 feet above sea level. I recommend hydrating well before you hike this hike, and also acclimating to the elevation if possible. So maybe camping somewhere nearby at least one night before hiking, since this hike does go above 11,000 feet very quickly. And if you've never hiked at or above 11,000 feet, the easiest way to avoid any type of altitude sickness is to camp at a slightly lower elevation before hiking at a higher elevation. So that's probably the best way to avoid any type of sickness. This trail hugs the eastern side of Lake Sabrina as it steadily ascends to the first lake of Blue Lake. And believe it or not, this section of the hike is actually the steepest of the entire hike. So if you take this section pretty steadily, maybe you can take a break at Blue Lake, soak in the views, and even have a snack or lunch. And the rest of the hiking up to the upper lakes beyond Blue Lake should be moderate as compared to this first section. So this first section to Blue Lake is about 3 miles. Blue Lake sits at about 10,400 feet above sea level, and it is just stunning. In my opinion, it is one of the most scenic outlets to a lake I have ever seen thus far. I haven't been to all the lakes in the Sierra, but from those that I have been to, and I've been to many, this one stands out. And right after leaving Blue Lake, there is a side trail which leads to Donkey Lake. I still haven't been to Donkey Lake, so that means I have a very good reason to go back next year once the snow has melted and I can go check it out. After passing the Donkey Lake side trail, the next lake is Dingleberry Lake. It's very pretty and it has a very remote feeling as well. I've never seen anyone at this lake, and it should be pretty quiet when you do hike to it. Dingleberry Lake sits at an elevation of 10,500 feet above sea level and is about 4.5 miles from the Sabrina Lake trailhead. From Dingleberry Lake, the trail steadily ascends up to Midnight Lake, which is one of the most stunning lakes in the entire basin. The water is ruby green and almost doesn't look real. There were a couple of nice looking camp spots on the west side of the lake, as well as near the inlet where I saw someone camping. So it might be a good spot to camp in the coming years if I do decide to go back, but just keep that in mind if you're looking to camp at Midnight Lake. There are some pretty good camp spots, and I did see quite a few fish as well. And Midnight Lake sits at about 11,000 feet above sea level and is about 6 miles from the trailhead at Sabrina Lake. So when I left Dingleberry Lake and I made my way back down to the junction, which either leads left, which is back down to the trailhead, or right, which goes up to Hungrey Packer Lake and to Moonlight Lake, when looking at the map, it appeared that
I could possibly go off trail and maybe scale some of the boulders and across the countryside to get to Hungrey Packer Lake, but the landscape was much more difficult than it appeared on my phone's map, and I used the Gaia GPS map. So for this hike, just to play it safe, I just recommend sticking to the trail and not to go off trail because the terrain in this area is actually pretty technical. I didn't get cliffed out, but I came to a point where I couldn't go up anymore. So I had to turn around and go back and just reconvene with the trail and take the Hungrey Packer trail to the lake instead. So for this hike, just stay on the trail. Don't try to take any shortcuts is what I'm trying to say. So once I did get back to the trail to Hungrey Packer Lake, the scenery was just stunning and it really, really begins to open up in this section. I passed Sailor Lake through here, which is a very small lake at about 11,000 feet above sea level. And I could also see Moonlight Lake Falls, which is right below Moonlight Lake. I didn't go to Moonlight Lake on this trip because I have been there before and I really wanted to get to Hungrey Packer Lake. So I pushed ahead and I went to Hungrey Packer Lake and it was incredible. The water is crystal clear, but it's kind of greenish at the same time. And it sits at about 11,200 feet above sea level. It's just really impressive overall, and it has a very remote feeling to the landscape, which is why I think I enjoyed it so much. So after I was mesmerized by Hungrey Packer Lake and making my way back down to my campsite, which was at Blue Lake, I passed the trailhead which goes to Moonlight Lake, and there appeared to be about half a dozen people camping within and around the area, and it seemed a little busy, but I mean, it was midsummer when I did this hike, so that was kind of expected, I would think. But it wasn't too busy and it didn't kill the mood at all, which is good. But from here I hiked really fast back down because the light was starting to go and I wanted to get back to Blue Lake so that I could make my dinner and have a good sleep. And I did. And the next morning I just packed up my gear and I hiked out. And funny enough, my battery died on my cameras because of the cold overnight. So I didn't get any footage on the way out. But I think I captured what I wanted to from this hike, which is just the beauty of the landscape and the sounds and the light, and I think I captured all of that. I hope this little behind the scenes and kind of quasi trail guide was helpful to you. If it was, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if you enjoy seeing these type of videos, kind of the behind the scenes, my perspective, my insight. If this is helpful, let me know and I'll keep doing it. I'll be happy to keep doing it. I really enjoy it. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you would like to see in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Sheedy33, and I'll see you later. Bye.